This Is It team.
This is it team.
This is it team.
There's a reason why your team is number one.
This is it team.
Number one.
Number one.
Number one. This is it team.
This is it team. We're number one.
U.S. is number one in growth, and the number one team in the United States is the This Is It team.
Hello, everyone. Woo! We are so excited to be with you all today. Our favorite day of the week, Saturday, because of course all the teaching and the training and the growth happened on Saturday with This Is It team. So glad you're all joining us today. Hey, you got a minute? Keep texting people because they're not going to want to miss these 5 incredible doctors that are sharing their testimony about the patch. They're sharing how the patch technology is working for them and their practices, and they're going to inspire you to want to put more patches on right now because they're so amazing and their stories are so transformative. So brace yourself because this is going to be the best doctors panel yet.
Wow. That's saying a lot. Hey, we're Scott and Renita Brannon, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. Honored to be with you guys today. If you caught some of those intro promo videos leading up to this, I mean, how excited are you to be a part of This Is It team, a part of Steve and Gina Merritt's team? I watched Steve and Gina in those videos.
Wow.
Our 4-year anniversary just happened on June 27th. They've never been more fired up than they are today.
That's right.
We've never been more fired up for ourselves and for our team and for all of you. Today is an amazing day to be a part of LifeWave and honored to be a part of this doctors panel. Yeah, super excited.
So we're going to get right to it. Make sure you stick around at the end because we do have a little presentation at the end for those of you that are brand new, because we know there's so many new people, amazing people on here today. We just want to congratulate you for taking the time today to really transform your life, because what you hear today, it's a transformation that's about to happen with so many people that are watching today.
That's right.
So we've got the 5 incredible doctors. We're going to get right into it.
Hey, before we introduce the doctors, and speaking of amazing people and congratulations, Renita and I want to personally congratulate all of the LifeWave 2-star executives that are currently out in Draper, Utah, touring the beautiful, amazing headquarters of LifeWave and spending time with Steve and Gina at their home in Utah. So congratulations, 2-star executives. By the way, 2-star executives, 100,000 point volume.
It's a big deal.
You need 25,000 point volume per week. It's not just you, it's people that you help. So people that you bring into LifeWave, who they bring into LifeWave, who they bring into LifeWave. And think about it, you guys, you need 3 lines, which just means that you need to personally enroll 3 people and start to help them.
That's right.
Do what it takes to share and be the light and share these products. So we have our hands on something special with this doctors panel. We're going to be able to utilize and leverage the information that you received today. So like, for example, when I'm walking on the beach this morning with my dog, I'm not repeating everything that I hear on these doctors panel, but I have this tool, this resource that I can send to people, the credibility and the validation that a lot of people are looking for. So sorry to interrupt you, Renita.
No,
Please introduce
I
us.
was just thinking, as you're saying that, it's actually supercharging us. So if you
Oh my
have
God.
been with LifeWave a while, consider yourself to be charged up
Let's
to
go.
max capacity today with the knowledge and just the transformation you're going to hear from these doctors. So we're going to get right into it. And again, hey, I did see that thing out in Utah, that incentive trip that everybody earned. They
right.
gave them free cowboy hats.
Oh my
And I was watching that thinking, this looks like a ball of fun out there. So first up on the list today, we have Dr. Kathleen Horstmeyer. This woman is a genius. She's married to a genius. It's like a genius couple. And she has the incredible transformation. So we're going to pull her up here. We're going to make sure that she's pinned next to us. There she is, that gorgeous woman. Woo! You look like $1 million, Dr. Kathleen. So, make sure we can hear her.
Can you hear
Yeah.
me now?
I can
Perfect.
hear you. How are you doing, beautiful?
Amazing. So
Amazing.
glad
Speaking
to
of
be
horses
here.
and cowboy hats, I see that horse right behind you, baby. I know you're a horse lover.
Yeah. I have a horse story for us today too.
All right. I love it. Okay. First of all, you're a board certified naturopathic physician. You're registered cardiovascular specialist. I mean, your credentials are vast. And you're married to a doctor as well. So
He's a
give
double
us a little
doctor.
background.
He's a dentist
Yeah.
and a medical doctor.
He's
Yeah.
a medical doctor and a dentist. Give us a little background, your little bit of your professional history and kind of how you got here, Dr. Kathleen.
Yeah, so happy to be here. Appreciate you, Steve and Gina as well. Thanks so much for the invite. And 30 plus years in hospital medicine. The first 5 to 7-ish was at doing drama trauma stuff in the ER and ICU, and I did some, flying around in helicopter stuff. Kind of what is drawn to you when you're young. And then I had a wonderful opportunity, ended up going, and long story short, got in the ground floor of non-invasive vascular diagnostics by meeting the head vascular surgeon at the University of Washington. He took me under his wing. And then from that, I ended up being the director of non-invasive vascular diagnostics at a really large tertiary medical center. And I read studies, I trained vascular surgeons, the young guys coming in, and cardiologists, the young guys coming in, how to read those studies. And so I had a very robust dunking into the allopathic traditional medicine. As did my husband. He was a hospitalist, ER doctor, an addiction medicine doctor. And but over the years, we saw things happening. We got drawn more and more outside of the system. I went then back to school for the naturopathic doctorate. And we started a holistic clinic and retreat center at our home. And we actually built an 8,000 square foot retreat center to treat people at. Yeah. And
it's a big deal. 8,000 square feet is huge.
Yeah. And we had, 80 acres for people to walk around in, big saltwater pools, all sorts of super cool things. And that was wonderful. And the patients that we got were the people that the traditional medicine had, they'd done everything they could, go home to die people. And so it was a crash course in, everything, mindset, what traditional medicine does, just everything, family, all of the things that affect all of us. And it was amazing. And at the same time, we had a horse rescue. So we were into the rescuing thing, which ended up rescuing us as well. So my LifeWave story then started 3 years before I actually used the X39 patch. I went down to the barn one night. Everyone else was up at the house, and I just ran down to give the horses their stuff, walked out, and I ended up getting kicked by a horse. I was like, this far from his rear end. Got double blasted with both hind feet, just below my belly button. And in my vascular mind, I thought, he's hit my big aorta, and I've got about 90 seconds. So I started praying for my family. And Lord, if this isn't my time, bring my husband to the window to see me, because I was laying in the field and I was in and out of consciousness. And he did. My husband just got up, walked over to the window, looked outside, saw me on the ground, and got an ambulance, got me to the hospital. And what resulted in that, and I'm not saying that, God did that to me for this, but what ended up happening from the event was I ended up with massive scarring. Scar is not a diagnosis, but what happens from scars are. So I ended up with massive scarring in my abdomen. And I know from my training, both in, acupressure, naturopathic, and vascular blood flow, that's bad news. Like, you can't get energy through there, blood flow gets blocked, the scars keep propagating, and just some really bad things happen. So we had all kinds of things at our disposal, of course, and I used all of them every day. Was trained in a special technique in acupressure to unravel scars, which I did every morning before I got out of bed, and then used all the other things. So literally every day for 3 years, and then nothing touched that, nothing. And there was one that was about as big around as my index finger, went from hip to hip and around to my right flank. And then yeah.
Almost
20,
like a rope.
It was definitely like a rope. And then about 20 to 40 little ones that went out from there. So it was massive. But I just kept working on it. And then new story is, I'm not, we sold our place to come back, where our family is, to help them out. And I ended up, becoming director of certification and continuing education at the Institute of Applied Quantum Biology, where I also met Dr. Stillman.
Yep.
He suggested, hey, have you heard of these LifeWave patches? So, long story short, my husband and I were like, yeah, let's try that. And, vanity speaking, I'm thinking, ooh, I'm gonna look younger. I'm gonna get.
And you do. And you do.
I'm just looking, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful.
You're so sweet.
No, you do.
So, we get the box and we're all excited, and we put the I put the patch on the back of my neck, and the next day I put it under my belly button. The next day, so we're doing that. And every day I'm going, do I look younger? My husband's laughing. And every day I'm still doing my unraveling and all the other things that I did. And on day 10 of me patching, I'm doing my unravel technique of the really big scar, and it was in chunks. And it was one contiguous rope, and then it was all broken up. And I just flew downstairs, made my husband, palpate my abdomen, and he's like, what? And I said, well, seemingly this patch. So 2 days later, on day 12, I'm in there again, and there's nothing there. It's completely gone.
Well, wow. That's amazing.
So, that brought me to tears. And I called Leland, Dr. Stillman, and said, you're not going to believe this story. It's just unbelievable, but it's true. And I said, I don't know about you, but I got to share this with the world, because I've seen a lot of suffering way bigger than my scar. And if it can do this, Lord knows what it can do. And of course, since then, that's been a couple of years now, and we've seen, just amazing things. And my husband also has, incredible stories. So that's how I got started.
Dr. Kathleen, I gotta tell you, thanks for sharing so much of your education and your background, and the time it took to earn those credentials, and then the applied knowledge that you had in owning your own clinic, and all those things. We're finding that LifeWave is attracting the best people in the world in terms of medical and holistic. It's really phenomenal what's happening here at LifeWave.
Yeah.
A lot of people join LifeWave for different reasons. Getting kicked in the stomach by a horse is not what we recommend, But
hear that every day.
Yeah, but like you said, it's amazing that there was something so miraculous that came out of such a traumatic experience for you, and so we're so thankful that you had your body's a miraculous healing machine, and it's just in a beautiful way you did that. Thanks for being authentic as well, and even just showing the emotions. We feel that every day from people. Mm-hmm. Every single day we get to hear from people, and we'd love to have you on our testimony calls, because I have a feeling that we could all benefit from hearing a little more of the details of your testimony. But I want to ask you a question. Yeah. So having so much experience and being in this arena of health, both on the medical and the holistic side, a lot of different modalities, a lot of different things that you can talk about with your clients. Let me ask you, why X39? What makes it stand out and different? Why is it that you're so interested in sharing X39 with your patients?
Oh boy, it's so simple. Like, the stuff I would sit down with my clients with, and I had all the big tools and the big, big stuff. But and then write them up protocols and such. And some people, and always is, we start with the basics. Eat real food. Preferably good real food, as good as you can afford, and the light and the sunrise, exercise, you have to move, all of those things. But and what I found out though is some people, for all sorts of reasons, which I didn't appreciate then, they just can't start there. There's all sorts of reasons why, which I won't, go into at this point. But so what I did find when this happened to me and started sharing it with my clients is I had a couple of clients who, one, couldn't sleep. And, I'm saying, well, do this. And, when you're not sleeping or you're really sick, that's, you can overwhelm people really fast.
Absolutely.
And she put this patch on. She hadn't really slept for 50 years.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Drank bottles of NyQuil to go to sleep every day for years and years and years. So she starts this patch, and and I've gotten, you get frustrated with people that it seems like they're not trying, but this really schooled me. Is she called me one day crying, and I was like, oh, what's wrong? And she shared, I just woke up from 10 hours of sleep, and I'm like, yeah. And then what happened? She goes, and then was, no, you don't understand.
Right.
I haven't slept more than 2 or 3 hours at a time unless I sedate myself.
Wow.
So those simple things, like she can put a patch on. People that don't, they can't change their diet yet. They can't do the exercise. Putting a patch on, like I've removed all preconceived ideas about what can happen for someone, because we don't know. But give them the chance to see. And just, as you guys know more than I do, even miracle after miracle
100%.
happens. It's just so simple.
Yeah.
Right.
So
wow.
simple.
So the simplicity of it. And, I think even let's just add onto that, the affordability, because when I think about all the procedures and the protocols and the techniques you were using, which I'm sure were very effective for many, right? But very, I'm sure, costly and time consuming and energy consuming. So let's just go not only the simplicity of just putting this patch technology on, but the affordability. I mean, are you kidding me? This is
100%.
This is so easy compared to what people are investing to try to regain their health. Right, Dr. Kathleen?
Yeah. And they have to come to us, right? They had to come to me for, the big saltwater pool, for the big sauna, for the big PEMF, for the big frequency medicine, for the, all the acupressure treatments, all the stuff. And this it's them. It's, it's a sticker.
Yeah. Wow.
With miracles baked in. That's what I say.
Yeah, I love that part of it. Well, the question is, so you've been doing this for a while after that transformation that you saw with your rope scar, and now just sharing it for a couple of years with so many patients and clients and people that you love and care about, and seeing radical transformation with them as well. tell us more about the business side of it. Like, I know you've engaged strongly in the business. You are taking this thing to the top. You are just amazing at not only sharing the technology, but training people to make sure that they're set up to go through the system. This is a team to make sure that they're having the results they're looking for financially as well. Tell us why somebody, especially with your caliber and your training and your diverse background from the Western and the Eastern types of therapies, why would someone take a look at this financially?
Oh boy. Well, first of all, I just have to, my husband and I laugh. Between the two of us, I think I've shared this with you guys before. We have nearly 30 years of schooling.
Ugh.
Yeah. And
30 years of schooling. Don't tell that to Steve Merritt, because he's got a whole nother story
like,
about school.
what?
30
How dumb
years.
are you? Yeah.
smart are
So we laugh about it because with those 30 years, not that we didn't do some good things in our hospital work and our clinic, but we've seen more things happen with people putting on this sticker than the things that we did. I mean, time for time, hour for hour, and you can't even compare dollar for dollar.
Right. Wow.
We see more. So that's one thing. And then two, the business side of it. Hey, when we wouldn't be in the hospital working, we didn't get paid.
Right.
That's just how it is. And because of what this does, you have to share it. I mean, it's like a moral obligation thing. You have to. So you end up sharing it. Other people end up sharing it. And things just start building and happening. And the other thing that's super important for me is it's a legacy thing. Like this, I can, when I'm gone, this is going to go to my family.
Yeah.
None of what my husband nor I did in the hospital is ever going to go to anybody but the hospital.
Wow.
So that's huge to me. It's not, you share it. It's simple to use. Anybody, you don't have to be a doctor to do this. Anybody can do it. And you get to build something that is going to stay. It's going to stay on.
Yeah. I love it. And you're just such a blessing to everybody watching today. So we just want to say thank you for just coming on and sharing that incredible story. What a life changing solution, that you had been really praying for, and not like you were not doing anything. You were massaging the rope scar every day for years, right? So thank God something could come alongside that and really expedite and help give your body the right light it needed to do what it needed to do, right? So thank you, God. Dr. Kathleen, you're a blessing. You actually do physically look younger from when I met you over 3 years ago. I'm looking at you thinking, my gosh, this girl is just looking dynamite. So you really, that original idea that you had of vanity.
So I got it all. I got everything.
You got it all. Well, we can't wait to hear more from you at convention and down the road, because we're going to have more of these doctor panels. But wow, thank you for sharing everything that you shared today. You're a complete blessing to the This Is It community. This is it team, to Scott and I. We love your heart. We love your mind. We love your passion for people. So Dr. Kathleen, what a blessing you've been today. Everybody give it up for Dr. Kathleen.
Thank you so much.
Woo! We appreciate you. Wow.
Appreciate you.
Everybody wants to say wow after every one of these doctors that are speaking. So the next doctor that we have coming up here is Dr. Tony Smith. He is amazing. His wife, Cheryl. These are amazing human beings as well. Again, like Scott said earlier, it seems like this business is attracting the best doctors and the best people in the world in healthcare to really represent this incredible phototherapy technology. So Dr. Tony Smith is a chiropractor, and he's down in the California area, I believe, right? Yep. So I am going to hand it over to Scott. If you want to kind of make sure we're pinning you. Hang on a second.
I'm pinned.
I got to make sure. There we go. I see you now, baby.
Hey, Dr. Tony, great to see you. Always
Hey,
love
great to see
hearing
you,
you
Steph.
speak, at the This Is It conventions, all of our events. I mean, just the light and the energy just exudes from you. I love that you're the real deal. You talk about cycling and obviously you're fit. And, I just really appreciate and love that about you, Dr. Tony. So let's get
Thank you.
started. So I want to hear a little bit about who you are, your introduction, and then, how you got started with LifeWave X39.
Okay. So yes, I'm a doctor of chiropractic. I've been in practice for 33 years now. And I know you can't tell, right?
Yeah, you look 33. You look 33.
Right. I wish. But anyway, so I actually have been in sports medicine for the 33 years. I work in a multidiscipline facility with orthopedic surgeons, podiatry, pain management, general physicians. So I see the full gamut of healthcare. I'm an avid athlete. I played college sports, college football and baseball, and I raced jet skis professionally, and now I'm a cyclist. And I actually am racing for the state championships tomorrow. So so always looking
Let's
and
go.
always pushing the limits. I love being active and pushing the limits like you guys. You guys are active and going. So I always look for things to enhance performance, and also try to be proactive, with my healthcare. And that's what I try to teach. I come from a thing, be proactive. Don't wait for it to happen. Let's get ahead of the game. And so anyway, when I was introduced to X39 by a friend, Mike McCleary, who reached out to me, and he knew I was into health and wellness and everything. And so he said, "Hey, you got to check out these patches." A friend of mine gave them to me, Andre Davuti. So anyway, I started looking at it, and I'm like, "What is this sticker gonna do for me?" But I'm like, I'm willing. And he said something about stem cells. He said something about light therapy. So it started the wheels turning, because I actually use cold laser, class 4 lasers in our practice to accelerate healing properties, healing benefits in athletes and everything. And so I was very familiar with the benefits of that. And then also, some of the other things he was talking about. And so I started digging into the research, go to thisisit.info.com and look at the studies and things. And so anyway, it started to spark my interest because I was familiar with light and things like that. So I actually started using the patches and just to see, what it was for me, because I didn't really have a lot of health challenges. And so, but I'm always looking to, up the game a little bit. So actually, as I was wearing it over a few weeks, I actually started seeing benefits in my recovery, and things. And I was able to kind of push myself a little further, which enhances my training, and what I'm going to do. So that was, that's exciting. And my dilemma at that point was like, do I really want to tell anybody about this? Because, I want my competitors to learn about this. So, but anyway, so I was wearing it. And one of the funny stories is I actually ran out of them. And it was the day before state championships. I guess it'd be 4 years ago now, almost. And so I called Mike and I said, "Hey, do you have any more of those patches?" And he's like, "Why?" And I go, "Because I'm seeing some benefits." And he's all, "Yeah, but I'm leaving town." So he goes, "I'll put some out on my porch for you." And I'm like, "Okay, great. I'm leaving like at 5 a.m. to the race. I'll grab some." So I swing by his house. He's, a mile or so from me. I swing by his house, and on his porch, on a Bible, he puts cheater patch, and he leaves a cheater patch out. So that's our joke, is I'm wearing the cheater patch now. So, but anyway, so that day went well and everything, and so I continued to wear it, and I started sharing it within my practice. And what I really started to see is, all healthcare providers have challenges with patients. Some patients hit plateaus. You just, sometimes you're looking for different avenues to enhance, the recovery or whatever. And so I had a few of those challenging patients. And so I actually gave them some of the X39, or introduced it to them more, but as a sample initially, and started to see some of those challenges, some of the breakthroughs, like we like to call them, where people were getting a little bit better and seeing some results. And so, so I actually got some of those people using it consistently, and they continued to progress, improvement, and their challenges, improved. And so then I started sharing. I got to share it with, a lot of people. Going back, I knew in my practice, though, that I'm not going to reach the masses just sharing it with my patients. I had to go and put the business hat on too, so that I could actually go out and share it outside the practice to really build something like Dr. Horstmeyer was talking about. As a doctor, when the lights are off and doors are closed, we don't generate income. So on the business side, it was like, I need to get in other people's hands so that they can help spread the word as well. So that's where we, I went to that avenue, that aspect of it, and started sharing it because, realistically in healthcare, every doctor is looking for ways to increase revenue without increasing overhead. I mean, in this day and age, especially in California, because expenses are going up and reimbursements going down. Every doctor is getting their reimbursements cut. So this is another avenue to bring revenue in and help people along the way. That's very comprehensive. I'll kind of touch on that in a minute, I guess, in the question. Yeah. But anyway, it's very comprehensive, but it allows to kind of make an impact with a lot of people. So.
Dr. Tony, I love that you shared that. We had a doctors panel just a couple of weeks ago, and that was a common theme too, is, doctors, practitioners are looking for additional streams of revenue. And as a consumer, for Renita and I mean, we want the best doctors. We want you to be in business. So we want you to create revenue. We want your business to be successful so that you continue to operate and be, one of the shining lights in that industry to continue to help people. I heard you mention also, just the patches helping people that just, aren't sick, that aren't dealing with like physical challenges or, the health challenges. And as an athlete, you mentioned, of course, as a professional, jet skier, an cyclist, collegiate athlete, how it helped you. We noticed with our boys, with our son, Bo, the breakthrough, as an elite athlete, you get to that place where it's just like, now you're really getting dialed in, nutrition, sleep, recovery. And it's just little tiny things, one extra little advantage can help push you over the top and break through. So we're getting that message.
Little tiny things.
Yeah, every single day from our patients, from our team members. So I'm glad you're seeing that. But outside of the athletes, people that are healthy, and active, how are you finding X39 just helping people that are already healthy? Like what's it doing for them, or what are they looking for?
That's one of the things that I really try to stress within my team and other people. Because our first intention when we get introduced to the X39 is we want to chase down everybody that's sick and hobbling, and we're chasing all the sick people. All the sick people we know we're calling. But there's so many more people out there that want to be active and be ahead of the game, be proactive, and they want to prevent those things. And so there's a whole other market that we need to touch and tap into because they're out there. That's why health and wellness is on the rampage right now. And regenerative wellness and things like that, because people are looking, they want to be active for a longer period of time. And if you can kind of educate, people to be proactive, not reactive, and that's a huge impact. So just understanding. So I was going to go into I get excited about the science. So I'm going to drop a little science, but hopefully it's not over.
Yeah, we love it.
But understand, we do the presentation, we talk about 4,000 genes begin to reset. Okay. And that just blows by everybody. Yeah. Okay. Genes are the coding system that make up proteins in our body that build our body up. So this is like epigenetic or, genetic reprogramming. So when you have dysfunctional programming, the body starts to deteriorate. But when we reset that to a healthier stage, that programming, that coding system is now enhanced. And so we're rebuilding properly and stronger. And that building process over time is what creates longevity and health and wellness. And so when we can reset that and do it before we get sick, it makes a huge impact. And there's people spending hundreds of thousands of dollars for evasive procedures going out to do this epigenetic biohacking reprogramming thing. And we have it in a patch that's $3 a day. Oh my gosh. Why?
It's amazing.
Right.
So Dr. Tony,
I want to say one quick thing. Epigenetics, for those of you that have never heard of that word, I learned it about 15, 16 years ago. And epigenetics means above genetics. So you know how we've kind of been told that whole story, like it's in your genes, it's in your genes. Well, quite possibly, but now we have something that's even above our genes, and that's called epigenetics, just like Dr. Tony's talking about. And he's telling you that this patch technology, when you put it on, you don't have to be at the mercy of the old programming, the old cellular programming and system. He's saying we can put this patch on and it's literally giving you an epigenetic advantage.
The
Right,
things,
Dr. Tony?
the things that we
Yes.
do to impact our genes, right? And so the fact that we can do it in a non-invasive way, it's affordable and all those things is really special. So you talked about doing something simple over time. We get this question a lot. I'm sure that you have as well. How many days, how many weeks, how many months and years should I wear X39, Dr. Tony?
Well, I mean, that kind of goes hand in hand. If how long do you want those, genes to reprogram and be healthier down the road? When you want to reset the slate of longevity, how long do you want to do that? So the quality. The other thing that talking about is that when you increase the copper peptides, you increase something called superoxide dismutase, SOD. SOD is very powerful antioxidant in our body. That antioxidant neutralizes free radicals in our system, which are pollutants and chemicals that our body is attacked with on a daily basis. So when we increase our own body's production of that SOD, you start to fight things off. You start to, neutralize those free radicals, those toxins that are trying to break down your body. So how long do you actually want to fight those things off? Or are you going to give in and let them attack you? So the whole thing is, if you constantly are wearing this and building that immunity, strengthening your core, your outer layer, your body's to fight things off, that shield of armor around you. I mean, how long? Okay, when do you take the armor off? When you want to?
I'm not taking it off, Dr. Tony.
When do you want to backslide? When do you want to go backwards? I don't know.
No,
I mean,
you want to backslide? Yeah. So,
so
that's funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, when people ask me that question, I'm like, well, you can be here or you can be here. I don't know. You tell me which one you want.
Yeah, I always hear Renita say, of all the things that you could stop doing, right? This is one of the last things you want to stop doing. I mean, stop doing the things
Stop eating fast food. Stop doing all the stuff that's like killing you. Cut the cost elsewhere. Don't take away the thing, like you said, that's like fighting the internal battle to kind of, protect you.
Yeah.
Like that would be the last thing you want to stop. You think, right?
All right.
Yes.
So one of the last questions, Dr. Tony, that we have, and thanks for sharing. Again, we find ourselves, interviewing, you, and we just would love to spend more and more time. I know all of this as a team is just, gleaning all of the information. So thank you so much, sir, for all your time today. You've got a successful practice. It's well diversified, holistic. How do you share X39 as a part of your practice? Talk about that.
So, I kind of, it's multifaceted, and I kind of touched on it in the beginning. So in my practice, I'm not a real hard pushy salesman or anything like that. So in my practice, I listen to people, I've taught through this industry, listen more than you talk, which is kind of sometimes different from doctors. They talk more than they listen, but, I don't want to offend anybody, but, we get caught up in that. We get in a hurry and we start talking and we don't want to listen. But I really, from this industry, I've learned to listen more. And then I listen to what is the challenge, or where can I input the X39? What is it? How is it going to create a solution for them? And so I wait for them to tell me something. I'm like, hey, I think I have something that might be beneficial for that. So it's about them. It's not about me making a sale. So that's how, and that opens a door for that really. And the cool thing about, I know Dr. Horstmeyer kind of touched on this, is that I've been in supplements and things for 30 years. But I found when I got introduced to the X39, I used to recommend this for that and this for that and this. And I found myself recommending X39 for almost everything because it was so comprehensive, systemic, it worked, throughout the body. So that was a blessing. So I could focus my attention here and put it. So I introduce people initially in my patients as to use the patch, and they become basically like a customer. They become a consumer. Along the way, as I meet with them again and again, I'm like, hey, I see that you're improving. I can see it, in this and that. And, as we're monitoring, how would you like to get those patches for free? And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, refer a couple people and, and I can show you how to get those patches for free. So I kind of backdoor my patients into the business side of it from the referral process. That's how, so that's how I kind of get that way. But on the business side, I've kind of been in this industry for a little while too. I didn't have 30 years of schooling, but I've had about 20 years of network marketing. So I kind of did my schooling there. But I learned that you have to build outside the walls. To make the biggest impact and make the biggest footprint is to go outside the walls and look for people that are business minded, not just looking, because unfortunately, sometimes we hide behind the patch because of the health side of it. There's a whole other people that are looking for opportunity, entrepreneurs for business side of it, that will exponentially grow your business at a faster rate because they're it's something nobody else has, and it can impact so many people. So I just like everybody that's building a business, am outside of office hours making phone calls to hey, I got something you might be interested in. On the business side, I found something that we could team up together and maybe do some great things. And so I have to pick up the phone just like everybody else and try to build a business outside the walls to create the revenue to help my family and everybody else keep things going.
Amazing.
Wow.
One of the things that I noticed, Dr. Tony, about you and other doctors, and Renita and I have introduced LifeWave to a lot of practitioners in all fields of medicine and naturopath, is as smart as you are, and you're very intelligent, is your humbleness. We're looking for people that have an open mind, that want to continue to grow, looking for, as you said, solutions that will help their patients. And if I had a practice in the medical, side, it would have to be something simple, right? Because we don't want to take you out of your wheelhouse. That's what you've been trained in, educated in. That's when you become a specialist in that area. But to add something simple that adjunctively comes alongside what you do, that can help your patient, create additional stream of revenue to keep you in business and help you thrive, and give you some flexibility as you build outside the walls so that you can win races like you're going to win tomorrow. So, yeah.
Let's hope. Go for it.
Baby number one, let's go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Dr. Tony, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We really appreciate you.
You're a blessing. We'll see you on the next incentive trip, because I know you and Cheryl earn every one. So we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
Hey, and one thing too, as we interview these incredible doctors today, Renita, is I started thinking about the Unstoppable event in Orlando, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. And we're going to have a doctors panel at that event. And imagine if you were trying to build a business with LifeWave, and you've got kind of two different ways that you can bring it up to people. You could say, have you heard of LifeWave? I got some patches in the trunk of my car, Or, what if you could say, have you heard of LifeWave? I'm traveling to Orlando, Florida to listen to a doctor's panel, to do my due diligence, to learn about this company. I'm investing in myself, in this business, to go down and learn why is the world, so interested, getting the innovation, stem cell innovation year of the year awards. I'm traveling. So it just sounds a lot different. If you're taking your business seriously and you've got goals, real goals, you want to make a difference in your family's health, in your family's finances, get to Unstoppable. I can't stop but think about, how valuable these doctor panels are.
All of these doctors are going to be there. So again, Thank you, Dr. Tony. You're just a light. I love listening to you. You got that great big smile. You just ooze health and light. So we certainly appreciate you. Next up, we have Dr. Lonnie Herman. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I know Dr. Lonnie Herman personally, just like I know all these doctors personally, but Dr. Lonnie Herman is amazing. And he actually, I got to know him because of my mom, Pearl. Many people from This Is It team and family know my mom, Pearl. And that's why we got started with LifeWave, because we saw a great breakthrough with her health. But Dr. Lonnie Herman was also a contributor that helped a lot with my mom's health journey. Now, he's a creator of quantum resonant medicine, functional neurology, functional immunology, and functional neurochemistry. This guy is probably one of the top 5 smartest people I know in my life, and I know a lot of brilliant people. So, Dr. Lonnie Herman, welcome to This Is It team, doctors panel. We're so honored to have you here today. Great to see you, my friend.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Good to see you both.
Wow, you're looking good. I hope your pup's doing well. So, we have a couple questions for you. Are you ready to rock?
Yes.
Okay. So, you love the patches, right? And you love all the patches, as most people, when they start with X39, that's always, that's what I introduced you to first, probably on our very first conversation. I'm like, you got to try this, the X39, because that's what we lead the conversation with. So when you have that X39 in your hand, I know that you believe so strongly in that. And also you believe in some of the other patches that we have. Tell us why you recommend X39, and maybe some of the other patches to your patients. Why do you do it? Because you have a big practice.
Right there.
Yeah.
X39, it just gets right to the core of everything for the body. We need stem cells to help the body repair itself, to grow, to stay young. One of my patients, I saw her bone density panel that she had run. Now, she bought the X39. Her bone density score had improved. She went from having osteoporosis and coming out of that with this patch. So it really got to the core of everything down to the stem cells in the bone that was repairing the bone. But really, it was the first day with you when you met my mother in the clinic, and her, within 5 minutes of you putting the patch on her, the pain in her feet had decreased, like it was like 90 or so percent less. And it just shocked me. How could this even happen? So, and it was also from the recordings that you had sent me of David Schmidt speaking. It just made sense because my work is all about frequency, you know, to heal the body. So it all just worked together. It just, again, the stem cells really help the body stay young and repair. And that's what it's all about for me.
Yeah. You know what I love? I love that I brought my mom to you for you to help, because you do all of this incredible stuff with quantum resonant medicine. And then while I was in the clinic that day, I helped your mom. And so you helped my mom, I helped your mom. See how this works?
But it was just incredible. I remember looking at like, is it this simple?
Yeah, it couldn't be this simple. And I remember your mom, she was pretty much almost dancing in the waiting room there. So that was very exciting to see her, like you said, go from the numbness and the pain and all of that. And I think for a second, you were a little bit in disbelief in the lobby that day. I remember looking at your face, you're thinking, I have spent years trying to help this woman, and here this little technology that Renita just threw on her. So simple, take out the back of the sticker.
She felt better. She's walking faster, and she became a great avid, you know, she bought them and she loves them.
Yeah. Now she's earning the incentive trips with you. I love it. So,
I loved it, Dr. Lonnie, because all of us can relate to that, right? We're always trying to like help each other, especially our family members, and the extensive experience and knowledge that you have, you know, in helping your mom. And then someone just comes along, introduces something like that takes seconds to implement, and then within minutes, you know, completely change. And I remember her just looking at you going, oh my gosh, you know, and you're just, I remember the look on your face, just like, oh my gosh, like this is this is happening. It's great.
Just touch on for a second, because you talked about how frequency medicine is everything. And in your practice, you do a lot. In addition to the patches, you do a lot. Would you just kind of just elaborate a little bit on all that? Because I want people to understand that the secrets of the universe are sound, light, frequency, right? And when we understand frequency, it affects everything in our body. And so we're coming into this time now. You know, I saw you for the first time, 4 or 5 years ago, Dr. Lonnie, where people really weren't having these conversations quite yet. It was almost like odd if they were, but now it's becoming mainstream. So can you tell a little bit about the frequency that you do at your clinic that you have here in Florida?
Yeah, thank you. I understand from the immunology point of view that there were different infections and toxins that get into the body that made the disease happen, whether it's mercury in the brain or parasites in the liver, for example. So we make these specific customized remedies, we'll call them, that actually target that toxin right in the brain or target that infection right in the organ to help the person's body actually neutralize those toxins and infections and get them out of the body. And then we see just a rapid restoration of their health. Some recent research that I've been involved in actually resets the electron spin around the atom, which is fascinating. But that's for a whole another discussion. But we're seeing some amazing things happen with that. But it all comes right back to every different part of the body has its own specific frequency, and every different cell, every different function, biochemical reactions have their own specific frequency. So there are certain frequencies that we need in order to make these biochemical systems run that you can only get from these patches. They're stable in my clinic. They're stable with my own life. You need, in my opinion, and this is me, I love the X39, but I suffered a terrible shoulder tear in the gym, and I could barely lift my arm. And I used the X39, but also in conjunction with the energy enhancer patch. I was able to go to the gym. I was able to do every exercise. The whole condition disappeared. I didn't have to get surgery. I didn't need physical therapy. There was nothing else that I was doing. Everything else that I did in my clinic, it didn't work for the shoulder, but only the specific frequencies combined of the X39 and the energy enhancer patch for me is what helped my shoulder. And I never had a problem with them.
Wow, I love that story. And I remember that happening. And I want to say, we don't treat, cure, prevent disease. You know, we're not on here telling you we're making medical claims. He's telling you his personal testimony about what happened. But I'm going to tell you that same combination that you just mentioned, I've heard other people that were weight trainers with shoulder stuff using that same combo you just said. And it's like almost like miraculous, where they were the tightness, the rigidity, the, you know, range of motion was really decreased, and they put the X39 on, and they put a set of those energy enhancers on, and it was just like miraculous. So thank you for sharing that personal testimony that you've had. Okay, I got a quick question. So you do a lot at your facility, and I've been there multiple times. I know exactly what you do. You're incredible. And so why is this patch so easy to use? I mean, compared to everything else that you're doing.
Number one, it doesn't cost much. Number two, you just put a sticker on the body, whether it's on my neck or somewhere else, because it works systemically. And your body is producing infrared energy anyway, and it's releasing that infrared into the, you know, to the environment around you. This patch acts like a mirror, and you put it on your skin, and all it's doing is literally, for a couple of dollars a day, it's sending your own energy back into your body. You're either letting that energy escape and lose it and not benefit from it, or you actually have it as a mirror, the patch on your body, that will send your own infrared back in a different frequency back into your body for you to benefit from what you're producing anyway, and you're losing it. Why not actually put it back in and actually help your body become younger, stronger, healthier? So it's real simple.
Wow, that is such a good visual. Like, you're just losing the energy, like it's just oozing out of you, and might as well harness that. And like you said, reflect it back in a specific spectrum of light to your advantage, basically, right? If not, you're just kind of, you know, walking around losing all your energy all day.
It's the only thing that I know that does it, because people can take that supplements of GHKCU, but it's not getting right. It's just not doing what this does. And certain things with digestive, you know, acids in the stomach and so on, they destroy some of these supplements, and they can't actually get the benefit. My work is to put the actual frequency right into the organ with the frequency embedded in water. We're able to just give it to the person that way. It bypasses every system. There's nothing standing in the way of when you give the body the exact frequency that it wants. And this patch does that. It's so simple. And nothing else in the market that I've looked at does that. So
yeah, you're going to wear it forever. What's interesting about you remind me of David Schmidt, where it's all about frequency, light, and water, right?
Mhm.
Because just what you're saying. And so you're talking the same language, and the user ease, the user affordability, the user friendliness of it. You know, I know that you've sponsored doctors and pharmacists and amazing, incredible people around the world, Dr. Lonnie, because you hang with those people. And again, just like I said with the previous interviews, we're attracting the very best doctors, physicians, naturopaths, homeopaths, you name it, quantum resonant medicine, incredible physicians like you around the world. I mean, when your caliber of people are coming to LifeWave and sharing this technology, I think it says a lot. So you answered the final question I was going to ask, which, are you going to wear the patches daily?
I do every day.
Will you ever quit? Yeah.
I wear it every day and for the rest of my life. There's no reason. It's so easy to put on, and it's cheap. I mean, literally, it's so inexpensive. There's like, why not have it part of my life?
Absolutely.
Like eating food to survive, drinking water to survive, have the patch.
Wow. There you have it, you guys. Dr. Lonnie Herman, you're a blessing. It's so great to see your smiling face again. I'm so overjoyed that you're wearing the technology still, and all the things that you do to help everybody. And it's so funny. I come in and help your sweet mom. Tell that beautiful woman I said hello, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right. Thank
Thanks,
you for
Dr.
being
Lonnie.
on today. Appreciate you. See you soon.
Great to see you.
Woo! All right. These guys, I mean, just their credentials alone are quite remarkable to have to announce, right, guys? I mean, a quantum resonant, right? Like that. We're not usually talking like that. Okay. Next one up is Dr. Jen O'Sullivan. I'm sure you guys know this beautiful woman. She's incredible. And just like so many of the physicians that we get to see, these people are transforming lives. All of these physicians, they are so powerful, so incredibly passionate about people and about healing and the health of the world, that we just are so honored for you to be here, Dr. Jen O'Sullivan. She's a board certified naturopathic practitioner, and she too is in California. And I think she's biking those hills out there too, like Dr. Tony. I know that about you. You're getting in super shape. So listen, you've attracted a lot of people to wear this technology. I mean, thousands of people, right? So what is the biggest misconception people have about it when they see this technology? what are they not getting? Like, what are they misunderstanding when you show it to them?
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me, by the way. And I'm not a medical doctor, so I always say I'm not a physician, but I'm a naturopathic practitioner. And that's just a distinction because they're completely different fields. But I work with people naturally. And so when this came into play, this was like, wait a minute, this is such a simple, stupid sticker, right? And then when you understand what it is, you're like, oh, this isn't stupid at all. And the technology is not simple at all. It's simple to use. But I feel like the misconception people have is like, is that like, well, it's just stupid. It's a dumb little sticker. How can that possibly be doing what you guys are saying this thing does? And I'm like, just put it on, right? And so, yes, like people think it's magic. It's not magic, but it sort of is. It's really your body is the blessing, right? Like God designed your body to do things, and this is the signal. Like this little guy is the signal to help your body it tells your body basically to combine GHKCU, and that's magical, right? And that's what's proving phenomenal. But I think that misconception is, there's a lot, but I would say one of my number one things is like that's it? That's all it is? So yeah, the stupid little sticker is the phenomenal little sticker. So very good.
Amen. Amen. I love it. And I love how Dr. Tony said it's the cheater sticker, the cheater patch, right? Because it's doing all this phenomenal stuff that it's hard to just even vocalize for the average person because it's just so phenomenal, right? I mean, so, and that's why these types of panels and people like you, Dr. Jen, are just so powerful in the field because we need your wisdom and your direction and guidance because so many people are hungry for that knowledge, right? So
Dr. Jen, hey, good to see you. You're looking fit. I love that you're wearing the patches. Everybody on these calls is the real deal. We just really appreciate that. It's great to see you, Dr. Jen. So, one of the things when you're talking to a lot of people, whether it be in your practice or outside the walls, is, you're introducing LifeWave X39 to people. What would you say, Dr. Jen, are some of the most common mistakes that people make when they're first starting wearing the patches? And if you could give them advice, if you could help all of us here at This Is a Team, what advice would you give people to get off on the right foot, to get started properly?
I give people the same advice everywhere. Actually, one of the main pieces of advice I learned from Renita back like when we all first started, and she was like, electrolytes. And, I think you guys even like funded everybody's electrolytes at the This Is It convention. And so I went back there and I grabbed them and I'm like, I know electrolytes, but I mean, are they that important to this technology? And yes, they are. And that is a huge mistake. And I tell people before they get their patches, you need to start drinking water and you need to add electrolytes that are actually salt electrolytes. And like you guys from Florida, so many of you guys have enough sodium because you're in the ocean all the time. Same with us in California. But what you want to understand is that one of the biggest problems is that people either have like a high blood pressure spike because their potassium is off. They're eating so many processed foods, processed carbohydrates, garbage, and their potassium to sodium to magnesium ratios are off. So even just getting some extra potassium, like coconut water, some bananas, whatever, but they need that ratio. So drinking water more appropriately. So my two biggest things would be drink water about 4 to 5 ounces every 30 minutes, not guzzling a ton of water all at once. It's 4 to 5 ounces every 30 minutes. So start getting used to sipping your water. And then the other one is to get some electrolytes in and start that process before you start patching.
Yeah, I love that. I just want to add on this because, I'm passionate about electrolytes. Been screaming this message for a long time, but I want people to understand intracellular hydration versus the water sitting outside of the cell. And I think of it as a visual, like a box of rocks. And if you dumped a cup of water through the box of rocks and they ran through the bottom, that's you running to the bathroom every time you drink water. So if you're having to run to the bathroom every time you drink water, that tells me the water is not getting into the intracellular hydration where it can actually do its work and communicate with the other cells. So how do you open the gate to get the water in the cell, the salt, the potassium, all the things that Dr. Jen is saying. So thank you for eloquently saying it. So again, if you're running to the water after you drink running to the potty after you drink a glass of water, you need to open the gate, boys. So get the salt, get the potassium in there. We love that.
That's good. Really smart observation. A lot of people talk about hydration, but if the cells aren't pulling that water into the cells, right, you don't get that cellular communication. So we've noticed that too, Dr. Jen. So thanks for touching on that. Hey, so next question: as a board certified naturopathic practitioner, how do you implement X39 in your practice? And then, of course, because it's human nature, you're going to come across people that say, I don't want to use it. So how do you implement your practice for people that are interested? And then how do you deal with people that are saying, I don't want to do it?
That's a great question. In the beginning, I was like, okay, I have all of these clients, and if you are not interested in doing this, I don't want to work with you anymore. That created some backlash because part of it is like I was seeing we do different modalities, right? Of course, I implement many different healing modalities within my practice. But what I was seeing was my clients that started early adopters, right? They were like, okay, whatever you say, I'll do it. And they started using X39. I was seeing the modalities I work with them hold longer, last better. They were having better results with the things we were working with them on. And that was fascinating to me to see over and over again, like 6,500 people. And to see, okay, well, who adopted that? It was close to 1,400 people that were like, okay, let's go. And what I think is interesting to me about that was those people who didn't, I'm now, like 3.5 years later, I'm starting to see those people say, well, I decided no, and I am saying yes now. Like, so they've waited for 3.5 years. And I think that's a huge mistake too, is like, don't wait. And so part of it for my practice is, yes, of course, I offer different modalities and different devices and different services and different things that I do within my practice. But it's like, I need you to also do this because it's simple, but it's going to make the biggest impact. So for sure.
Amen.
I love that. I feel like one of the common themes that we're hearing, of course, from Dr. Kathleen, Dr. Tony, Dr. Lonnie, and now Dr. Jen is, you're looking for results for your patients. You're looking for solutions. And then, as much experience and education as you have, you're humble, you're open-minded, and you're just looking for the best interest of your patients. So congratulations on being a great practitioner in that aspect. So
okay, I got another question, and like this is going to put everybody on the edge of their seats, but compliance is always a really important topic here with LifeWave. We know this, right? Because we're sharing this incredible wellness technology and miracles are happening, but we've got to be very mindful of how we so eloquently talk about those miracles, right? Because we don't treat, cure, prevent disease. So what's the biggest mistake people make when talking about the patches? And in addition to that, how can they share them in a way that's like super effective and wants people to put them on, but yet compliant?
Sure. And this is tough because, we don't want to say that we're trying to take your amendment rights away and all that. It's part of this goes back to practicing medicine without a license. So even like I have a license. I'm an ecclesiastic holistic practitioner with a full-on license, and that you need in the state of California as a naturopath. California is like a totally different area of place. And so part of that is we have to understand the language, we have to understand the government regulations. But even medical doctors, even if I was an MD, I would still be out of lane if I came to a customer or a client or a patient with advice that was non-compliant about these patches. And the reason for that is the FDA dictates what you can and can't say based on a topical thing. Even though phototherapy has been studied all over the place, they consider this topical. So here in the United States, like you can't claim what's called a system function change. So that's why it gets a little bit sticky, and why, we have dance, we've gotten legal compliant, legally available to say one specific thing. And this is in our 2-minute video in LifeWave, that we have a device, a patch that uses phototherapy, that uses light to increase GHKCU. That is the claim that we have legally allowed to say, which is technically a system function change, right? Because it's an internal peptide that this is increasing. But part of the thing is the language is changing. All of the things we just have to remember is like when you're sharing stories one-on-one with people, you just let them know, like, this was my experience. I'm not a medical practitioner. I am not trying to tell you this is what's going to happen for you. It's like right. Saving yourself. And what I mean by that is, this is so important if you guys would hear me. It's not about you can't say something. It's that you're selling something that is has regulations, right? And the company, when they come to you and say, hey, you guys need to take this down, it's not like the principal of the school coming and whapping you on the wrist, right? It's not like that. They're actually trying to protect you. And what they're trying to protect you from is you going to jail or you getting a massive fine from the FDA or the FTC. And it's happened in our industry all over the place. So I just encourage you guys to know that our company loves you. They are trying to help protect you. And we want to educate the best. So just when you put stuff out, just think, am I making any claims here? Am I saying that this was something that did something for some health issue. So we look at it like a line. There's below the wellness line and above the wellness line. So if this supports skin health, that's above the wellness line. If this helps reduce acne, see, that's a below the wellness line statement. So you look at the terms you're using. This helps inflammation is below the wellness line. If you say this supports the body's inflammatory response, that's actually above the wellness line. It's just learning to work within the language. So I just encourage you guys to just realize that we all must be compliant, even the medical doctors. So
100%. You know, a word that I like to use a lot is support. Support is a beautiful word that you can say supports the inflammatory process, supports, you know, that inflammatory response, right? Supports your muscle endurance and strength. Supports a big word, and another word that was used earlier by Dr. Kathleen was seemingly. It seemingly did this for me, right? Because now you're not saying concrete. And, you know, I'm a believer, Dr. Jen, that we should quit saying the disease names now anyway, because I feel like they're word curses. It's kind of the frequency I'm at in my life. Like we don't need to name the word curse again. Yeah, don't identify the word curse again and say it again. You know, you've said it 18,000 times. Let's now speak health and do the things that are going to, like you said, keep us above that wellness line and pull us in that direction toward optimal health and healing and rejuvenation, instead of talking about the things that are below the wellness line anyway, because, you know, we're just done with that.
And unlike a drug, you know, a drug needs to know the disease name, right? And like kind of matches and diagnoses,
but we're
not a drug in any way, right? And so the patch doesn't need to know the disease name, right? You just put it on. It's very simple. It's simple to implement. It's affordable.
And just as another side note, so many people ask, like, will this work for fill in the blank issue? And I'm like, well, that's not the right question. It's going to work systemically all over your body. So I don't know where it's going to work for you. And how exciting is that we're going to see what happens for you.
Absolutely. And then LifeWave has done a really good job also to be very professional and thorough in detail. So you can go to lifewave.com, practice going to your own website.
Right.
So lifewave.com/ whatever is the website that you created for yourself. You can scroll down to the bottom. You actually can click on Resource Compliance Center. There's a whole list of things that we can say on each individual patch, which includes health claims and business financial
Most
claims.
of our team doesn't even know that exists, because it's not in your back office. It's just at lifewave.com at the very bottom. It's a compliance center. So you know exactly what you can say and not say, and it makes it really simple. But Dr. Jen, you are a blessing always. Your knowledge base is so vast, and we just appreciate your wisdom and your light. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
We're
see you in
gonna
Orlando
next month.
Unstoppable.
So we appreciate you. Everybody give it up for
Thanks for
Dr.
having
Jen
me, guys.
O'Sullivan. She's amazing.
Thanks, Dr. Jen. You're great. Appreciate you.
We love it. And so our fifth and final doctor, if you guys are still with us, we saved an amazing practitioner for the end. We love this gentleman. He is an amazing human being, him and his wife, Thora. His wife, I actually call her a superhero because her name is like Thor with an A, Thora. But, you know, behind every superpower wife, there's a great man. And so here is that great man, Dr. Ed Promictor. This guy is so smart and so brilliant, and his knowledge base is so vast. He's such a amazing educator with all of us and his team. He's growing a large business globally. We're so happy to have you on, Dr. Ed. We love and appreciate it.
Dr. Ed is an MD. He's a diplomat for the American Board of Anesthesiology. He's currently practicing in health optimization medicine. Dr. Ed, great to see you.
I love it. From the MDs to the MDs. I love the MD. Okay, so first question, Dr. Ed, will the patch help with this, that, the other thing? So when people are coming at you with all these, you know, diseases or really massive symptoms,
it's the first thing we're at.
It's the first thing everybody's
People are like,
asked.
well, will it help with this? Right. So how do you address that?
Well, there are a couple things here. One is that, you know, a lot of people have kind of rejected the reductionist conventional medicine paradigm, you know, and want to do something more holistic. But then when it comes to their own health, they want to get very specific again and get worried about the diagnoses like Jen was talking about. And is this going to help this? What I say is, okay, you know, LifeWave has established that when you wear this patch, this GHK copper peptide is elevated in your body, in your bloodstream. So we can make that statement. Now, what it's going to do, your body has control over that. Now, if you want to investigate if the GHK copper peptide might have an effect on a specific problem, just go to a search engine, put in GHKCU, and whatever the issue is that you're curious about, and see what the conventional medical literature says about that. This peptide has been, it was discovered, recognized in the mid 1970s, early 1970s. So we've got, 53 years worth of studies on it. And so you can see, okay, GHKCU has an effect on mitochondrial function. So if then you can make this conclusion or draw this conclusion yourself. If A causes B and B causes C, well, then maybe A is going to have an influence on C. And to me, that's as simple as it is with the specificity. But, along those lines, like everybody said, it does so much that to me, it's just foundational using it. And I think that the biggest struggle sometimes is that a lot of us talk about how rapid our personal responses were. And that's unusual in general. I think that it tends to take longer for many people to recognize a change in their health and in their physiology, because what the GHK copper peptide is doing is working internally. And it might be working on your heart or your liver or your kidneys or your bones, something that you can't feel. And so you don't know that it's going on. And, this gets to one of my big hangups. When I first heard about LifeWave, I heard about it 2.5 years before I ever used it. And I thought it sounded stupid and silly. And it was a network marketing company, which totally turned me off. But now I understand that that is key to the success of this product, because it takes conversations and it takes having relationships and it takes having opportunities like this for people to hear the stories and for them to have somebody they can come back to if they're frustrated that it's been 2 months or 3 months or 6 months and they haven't noticed anything. When we look at conventional, I like to dig into the numbers and the statistics on a lot of things. And when we look at a lot of conventional treatments, let's say treating high blood pressure, we have what's called number needed to treat, which is how many people do you actually have to treat in order to benefit somebody. And in hypertension, the number is like 77. You have to treat 77 people for 5 years to prevent 1 stroke. So 76 people have absolutely no benefit at all. But
wow,
but people accept that, this is okay, I'm getting treated. As far as I'm concerned, with the X39 patch, the number needed to treat is 1. As we age, we talk about how the stem cell activity decreases as we age. I'm almost 60. And so, I've lost 90% of my stem cell activity. Well, parallel to that is I've lost about 90% of my GHK copper peptide production relative to when I was a teenager. So, if I can just bump that up, if I don't have to regain 90%, if I regained 10%, I'd be doubling the amount of GHK copper peptide I have circulating around, which is pretty tremendous. So for me, there's no reason for anybody not to do it. The biggest struggle that I have with patients, clients, and people getting them to do it is that it's not dramatic. And so therefore, that's part of what makes it seem unbelievable. It is this little sticker that you put on, and it's quiet in how it goes about it's doing its work. My dad, I was talking with my dad the other night, and he said, well, I wore the patches for a couple months and I took them off. I didn't notice a difference. And I'm like, I told you, Dad, you got to wear these things consistently every single day and just trust that it happens. For people that are on this call, and we've got 1,000 people here, which is incredible, I'd say just you have to get on the testimonial calls with whether it's Scott and Renita or Jen or me or whoever's in your upline and hear the stories, because that is what's going to give you the conviction to continue on. In conventional medicine, we tend to discount stories, testimonials, but that's real. When you see something happen over and over again, now it might not be Dr. Tony's shoulder healing up or Kathleen's scar going away. We're never going to do a randomized controlled trial of 1,000 people who have been double barrel kicked in the abdomen with, vascular injury to see what happens when you stick a LifeWave patch on them. But if you see consistently over and over and over and over, people put this little stupid sticker on their body and they have changes that nothing else has affected in the past, you can't deny it. And essentially that's what happened to me. I was blessed in that I was a one patch wonder. I had discomfort in the back of my leg and my ankle for 8 or 9 months. A friend gave us some patches and I nicely said, "Oh, thank you." And I had no intention of wearing them. My wife, Thora, said, "I'm sick of listening to you whine. Just put one of these things on." My not understanding the mechanism by which they were working, I had to accept the reality that was staring me in the face or staring me in the foot and figure out what was going on. And at the same time, as a responsible and caring physician, if I had a tool that can work like that, I can't not tell people about it. Just because it's a network marketing company is like the most stupid reason in the world for me to deny people an opportunity. And so one of the things I say is, to my physician peers or medical practitioners who are considering this is, I missed out on an opportunity for myself for 2.5 years, but even more important to me, I'm pulling a Kathleen and getting choked up, is that, it's 2.5 years that I missed having a tool that's pretty dramatic that could help my patients. And so I think it's important for us to remain curious, and to pursue the knowledge and to pursue the understanding and try to figure out what's going on. But just because we don't understand how something works doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
Wow. Wow. Everything you just said was pure gold. Are you kidding me? Amazing. But it's like the physician that we had on last time, right? Where people's kind of ignorance becomes arrogance. And as a result, whether they're an MD, ND, chiropractor, name it, right? They're letting that limited belief system, let's call it that, hold them back from really helping more people. And as soon as you have that willingness to grow and to seek, how you were seeking, like it hit you in the ankle and you were like, okay, something changed. I can't deny it now. Now I got to go look at it. Right.
Yeah. And maybe, it might be part of my training. So as an anesthesiologist, basically everything that I used all day long, every day, like Rachel Maurice said on the last time, we as anesthesiologists, everything we're using can kill somebody. And so I have a really, really high respect for medications. To me, they aren't just, something to hand out like candy. And as part of our becoming board certified, we have to do all kinds of written exams and so forth. But at a certain point, you have to do oral exams where you go someplace and you stand in front of 3 or 4 or 5 doctors and they're peppering you with questions. And they're just asking you more questions to get more and more complicated. And they're pushing you to a point where you don't know what the answer is. And what they're looking for is for you to say, "I don't know, I'm going to ask for help," or you start trying to BS them. And if you BS them, you fail, because that's dangerous, especially in our line of work. And so, a lot of anesthesiologists are very curious people. Not all of them are, but a lot of them are, and are willing to look at oddball things. I think because it's been trained into us that it's okay to say, "I don't know." Whereas I believe that a lot of physicians, that's not okay. They expect to know everything and to be the expert. I think one of the signs of wisdom, which you get in this whole group of doctors this week and the prior week, is that humility is a big part of wisdom. And, you spend enough time as a doctor, and if you've learned anything, you learn how to become humble about stuff.
Amazing. I'm always just really blown away at, meeting Dr. Red, someone like you who is, and I've had conversations with you personally. You're so intelligent. But your humbleness and your humility is so inspiring. And that is a common theme. It is captivating and inspiring. And we've met a lot of MDs and on the naturopathic side as well. And they've said things like, there are so many testimonies. There are so many stories. Just the stories alone indicates that I should take a serious look at this.
Right.
And so that's just speaking as like a good human being, just saying like, I need to understand why all these stories are occurring. And then some will say, but the science isn't there. But then as soon as they look, at the over 200 patents and the clinical studies, they realize that it has been validated, just hasn't been put in front of them. You know, no one's coming to their office week over week, and the CECs are not in this area of health and wellness and medicine, right? Or anything, because we're not a drug, you know?
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
and then at times,
washing hands was not understood for
yeah,
decades before, you know, they figured
Yeah.
out the germ theory, but it worked.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the other thing too that I heard you say is sometimes it's not even really doing the research or understanding or even being open, but it's just putting the patch on. I mean, you know, Thora, who we
Yeah,
we
that
just
that
love your
was me.
wife. Yeah, Thora just says, you know, Ed, put the patch on. So sometimes that's the strategy for us to say, listen, enough talking, you know, enough. You're going to understand this as you know, our bodies are complex. We've got a doctor's panel. I'll forward it to you. Some of your questions will be answered there. More and more of the learning will occur as you continue wear, but the patching starts today. Are you ready to change your story? You know, you've got discomfort on the back of your leg, doctor, you know, Ed, you know, are you ready to change your story? Put the patch on. So sometimes it just begins with that simple action of placing that patch on the body. And
I want to say this, I'm still in awe of the patches, Dr. Ed. I'm still in awe. Like I was really sore in my hamstring and butt. And I was kind of walking around griping about it. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put a X39 right on that, you know.
This was yesterday.
Yeah, like right on that area. I'm going to put an Eon on the point of pain like David Schmidt taught me. Just put those 2 patches on. I walked 3 steps and I looked at Scott and Bo and I said, I cannot believe that just worked.
It's like she was shocked.
Yeah, I've been here for
Yeah.
4 years, Dr. Ed. So sometimes, you know, we're just put it on,
Yeah.
right? Just put it on. And sometimes that the tool just does the talking for you. You
So,
don't
so
even-
let me ask
Yep.
you this. We talk about putting it on. Stick it where it hurts, put it on. You're a professional MD. From your experience, Dr. Ed, are you using any sort of protocol, any specific placements for the patch, or what have you found? What's your experience there?
Yeah, I try to get people to not overcomplicate things. You know, people, again, like I said, this is just too simple. You know, it's stick the patch on when you wake up in the morning, take it off before you go to bed, repeat the next day, and just be consistent about it. Now, I was not consistent, even though I had great results. I would wear it for 2 or 3 days and then not for a week. And it wasn't until I set an alarm on my clock, on my phone to remind me every day to wear it, that's when my ankle finally completely settled down. It goes back to what people said earlier. One of the things that I love about this is that it does so much and it's so simple. So when people, so that's why I just say stick it where it hurts, or stick it on the back of your neck, or stick it on your belly, wherever it is. People who want a protocol, part of why I try to not give them a protocol is because I want them to get away from thinking about their illness all the time. You know,
Wow.
it's like, you know, it's not, you know,
Good.
one of my principles is that you're created in the image of God. I cannot outsmart that. Okay. So what I have to do is work with what's missing that we need to get back in, what's in your body that we need to get back out. You know, it's very simple. What are the building blocks nutritionally that we need to get in? What are the signals that we need to get in, whether those are hormones or these peptides or your circadian rhythm? What's the environment that you're in? But it's all really simple stuff. And it can be relatively easy to do, or it can be complicated to do. And that's all up here as to whether you keep it easy or you keep it complicated. And making it complicated is one of the ways to make it that you don't continue to do it. And using this technology persistently day after day after day is what is going to work for most people. You know, not everybody has this overnight effect like I had or that other people had. And so I try to downplay that as much as I can. In medicine, we call it hanging crepe, you know, telling people kind of like to not get their hopes up about things. So that when it does work, you know, they're more happy and not disappointed. Once people start having benefit, then they become like most of us, and they've got, you know, somebody says, are you wearing your patch? And it's like, well, which one? I've got 4 on right now, and I have another 4 on while I'm sleeping. You know, I'm just covering all the bases in the insurance. But yeah, it's keep it simple. It's, you know, like Jen said, water, you know, sleep, light, the patch, good food. If you do that and you give your body the chance to heal, then it will. And I
Oh,
love that
wow.
emphasis that it's not the patches that are healing you. The patches are just supporting your body's natural ability to do that. And I'll go
Right.
back to that GHK copper peptide, that 90% decrease.
Yeah.
The only other things, I mean, if you had a 90% loss of insulin, you'd be type 1 diabetic. If you had a 90% loss of thyroid hormone, you'd be on thyroid hormone. If you had 90% loss of your adrenal function, you'd be screwed up. But women's hormones, you can lose all of those, and we say, oh, sorry, honey, that's normal. And this
Yes.
peptide that we don't know anything about, you can lose 90% of that or beyond as you get older, and we ignore it. But those are two situations where we actually have the technology now. What a wonderful thing that we have
Right.
stupid, silly little $3 a day patch that has such a
How long
huge potential impact.
How long are you going to wear this thing, Dr. Ed?
Well, I'm planning to live to be 120 at least, so another 61 years.
I'm going to live to be 122. Yes. So just 61 more years. I love it. I mean, there's no reason to quit, right? With all the amazing
No.
things we've already seen, why would you stop something so powerful?
Yeah, and I mean, I talk about my ankle. I've lost 3 or 4 inches off my waist this year without really doing anything different. One day I was driving and I realized, oh, I can actually turn and look over my shoulder when I'm backing up. I'm not just using the mirrors. Things just happen one after another, and that's why I say get on the testimonial calls so you can hear all this stuff. There's the dramatic things, but there are also the simple little things.
One of the things, kind of in closing, Dr. Ed, it's been a joy to listen to you speak today and to help us and to educate us. But you talked about your growth or your paradigm in thinking, your change of thinking when it came to a product that was offered as a part of a network marketing company to an appreciation for a product that just goes direct to the buyer. And the value is in the relationships and the support that we offer one another and the answering questions and all those things. Are you like me? I mean, I was programmed, I guess, in the 80s and 90s to think that if you're buying something from the computer, and it was going to ship to you, maybe it didn't, you had to go to an expert. Talk about just the value of being able to partner with someone like you, get the product at $100 wholesale every single month, just direct to the buyer.
Yeah. So my wife and I, we also own an organic spice company that we've had for 16 years. So I understand that if you were buying $100 worth of our spices at the store, essentially we get $4 as the manufacturer, the distributor, the broker, the store gets the other $60, 60%.
Right.
It's exactly the same split with LifeWave. LifeWave, the company, gets $40, and the other 60 go to the brand partners who are doing the work of the broker, the distributor, the salesperson, the store, doing all of that work. And so it's really very fair. It's no different than, people would be comfortable going to a big box store. People who are uncomfortable buying this as a network marketing opportunity or product would be comfortable buying it at a big box store only because there are two different places to buy it. The way the actual cost is pretty much the same. But at the big box store, you would not get the support that you get by having a relationship with a brand partner who's servicing you. And we take it very seriously. I think that most people do take it very seriously, caring for the people who we've gotten to sign up and buy this product because we're so convicted about it and we want to see other people succeed. Now, for 95% of people who sign up as brand partners never actually do the business. They are signing up as a brand partner so that they can buy bundles and get things less expensively and so forth. But for that 4 or 5% that actually pursue it as a business, that's actually one of the things to me that's really exciting. I used to be licensed as an investment advisor, so I have a lot of knowledge and beliefs about money and the monetary system and wealth and so forth. And to me, one of the very most exciting possibilities, and I know this is true for you guys because you talk about it very openly, is seeing the people that you've signed up who want to build a business, actually build a business and a financial legacy and a success and get themselves move themselves from one place financially to another place that they never thought that they would be at. I mean, that's amazing. And so we are gifted in this situation with not only being able to help people with their physical health, but also with their financial health. As building a business, there is a whole lot about your spiritual and personal and mental health. So it's a crazy holistic experience if you want to take that, if you want to grab hold of that. You don't have to. That's one of the big things. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, it's network marketing. People are going to be chasing me to get me to sell stuff. And that is not the case at all. Not with LifeWave. But I don't know of any other business opportunity, any other work situation I've ever been in where people want to help each other succeed. We had that experience with you and Scott, 8 months ago when we met you and got in touch with you, and we were very new at this business. And it's fantastic.
It is fantastic. And we love and adore you and Thora and your family, and are going to continue to pray for all of you.
Thank you.
Dr. Ed, you are a blessing to everybody you spoke to today. There's going to be probably hundreds of thousands of people that end up watching this Zoom. And it's so powerful that you can change your life with making a simple decision. And, I think you said earlier what you call genius. I call genius, people that are genius in my world are ones that learn new information and have the ability to change their mind. And you are that person. Because when you first put the patch on, you didn't know how it worked, if it was going to work. I mean, the skepticism was there, right? But what's interesting about you, as I hear you talk, you might be skeptical, but you're not cynical. And that's the difference. I feel like I love skeptical people because we just got to show them some things and open their eyes to the possibility of what can, happen with their health or their wealth. So I love a healthy dose of skepticism. Cynicism is a little different, but when you came into this, you didn't have that. You were looking and seeking solutions, like you said. So
well, and I try to weigh things too. I say, I say, is this dangerous? That's a big cutting point for me. Danger or no danger? No danger. Okay. Is there a mechanism that's plausible behind how it works? Is there research that shows that it does this? And is there clinical experience that it works? I don't have to have all four of those things. If I do, that's great. But if it doesn't seem to be dangerous, if it just seems to be stupid and people say it works, I would love to have a mechanism to latch my little engineering type of brain on. But if I don't, it's okay. The worst somebody's going to risk is $100 and they can get their refund at the end of a month if they want, or I try to get people to do at least 3 months. So again, in the scheme of medical things, this is about as cheap as it gets. I say fasting is cheaper, sleep is cheaper, breathing is cheaper, loving is cheaper. But if you're going to do stuff, this is the biggest bang for the buck that I know of.
Wow. I love it. We love you. We love you.
Well, thank you. We love you
so
too.
much. Thank you so much for being part of this. Wow. The wisdom that's oozing out of Dr. Ed and the passion, you can just hear it, you guys. We're so honored to call him not only our business partner and a doctor, but our friend. And so we're just so thankful for this. We love you guys.